Hi, how are you doing? This is Diane Nelson, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am in my apartment right now. You have to excuse me for the lounge wear. I have been working 12-hour shift for the last 4 days in a row, so I didn't get a chance to get fancy. I just hopped on here because I've been putting it off and putting it off, like I gotta do a YouTube video. I'm finally back, people, so thank you. If you find this video, like, comment, and subscribe, please. I just, whenever I feel like it's a topic in these internet streets, I feel like we should talk about it. This might be a tangent, so get used to it, get comfortable, sip your tea, sip whatever that makes you feel comfortable, because we're about to talk about this topic. Because I've also been going through my own little breakthrough journey. I don't know if nobody's been watching my videos. I'm hoping that sooner or later people will catch up to me. But let's get into it. But I wanted to say, I recently went through a breakup. I've been alone a lot. I've also been through a lot in the past 30 years of my life. I'm 49. I'm 49 years old, and we're gonna talk about this because recently I seen a YouTube video. It's a comedian, shout out to him. His name is Shuler King. And he was talking about this young lady. I didn't see the video of her. I wished I was able to look her up and see what she was talking about, but I feel like I've seen her somewhere before. If somebody look at this video and see this video in the comments about this young lady, well, the video was about a young woman who, I'm going to say she's very pretty. She's in her 30s. I want to say she's in her 30s. She's a very pretty woman. I feel like I've seen her somewhere before. If I'm not mistaken, I might have seen. She looked like this girl that was on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, but I'm not sure. But I feel like I've seen her before. Make a long story short, she said, and I'm paraphrasing this from him, that she left her family because she had to get herself together. Okay? Why it hit me, and it hit me in the gut so bad, because I'm probably going through the same thing I don't have 2 kids. I have real circumstances that I would not like to put my kids in videos, but he was saying in the comments, and then from the comments I saw on his YouTube page, that she was being selfish. I also want to talk about, and I wrote down in my notes, we're going to also hit this movie that I was just watching at work called The Crash. Yeah, I forgot to put that in there. It's called The Crash. It said it was a movie, but actually I feel like it's a documentary movie. It's about, I want to say 1 hour and 45 minutes, so I like to estimate it, I would say 2 hours long. About this young woman who was in this relationship. They were young. There was a lot of things that the parents let the young people did that I would be questioning about, but we're going to talk about that too, because I don't know how long this video is, because I think I'm about to go into a tangent. I want to talk about the mentalities of black people, and specifically black men, okay? I am not going to talk about the others, because I'm not talking about y'all, because I don't know what's going on in y'all community. I'm talking about me being a black person in the black community. And we're going to talk about that, about the mental slavery. We're going to talk about this. Now, I also want to talk about the fact that the birth rate in the United States have declined significantly. Okay? We're going to talk about all that, because in the video, we're going to go back to the video first. In the video, She said she needed to leave her 12-year marriage and her 2 kids for her own self-worth. I'm paraphrasing. I understand where she's coming from. Recently, I moved down here to be with my ex, to start a life with him. It didn't work out. God didn't have the God didn't allow me to stay in that relationship. So I had to move out, find my own new apartment, but at the same time, while I was doing all that, I was going through a self-healing journey. I'm also going to talk about, whenever I get a chance, we're going to talk about, what's her name? They're saying she doesn't have a doctorate, but I'm going to talk about what she called herself, Dr. Shanae Bryant or whatever. Which is really ironic because I work on Shanae Avenue. That's weird. But this all correlates to the fact that in the king of the comedian Sheila King saying that she was being selfish. And that's a strong word, but and we need to get over words too. And I'm starting to learn that as I'm getting to 49. Words like selfish, I've heard this a lot from myself. I've heard this a lot from people that's been around me, that's no longer in my circle anymore. I mean, my circle is pretty much me. That's it. That's all my circle is me. That's it. It's like a period. And that's because of choice. The choices you make. But to be selfish, I've heard that word. What else word? Whole. I had to get over those 2 words, selfish and whole. I had to get over both of those words. Because when the people I'm learning this now, those people that says this, when you're getting bothered by those words, you got to look at the whole totality. You have to look at their lives, what they're going through, how is their mental and physical issues, do they have all that solved? Before they start looking at you, talking about you're selfish because you're protecting your peace. That's another word. People in the community, as black folks, we need to be okay with our peace. Don't worry about you being happy. Happy is fleeting, but being at peace is the real goal you're trying to create as a human being. But that's a whole nother tangent. I'm talking about the fact that this young woman decided, before she did anything to anybody else or herself, she decided to leave a situation. I don't even know the whole scope of what she said. I wish I could watch the video. I'm going to come back because I'm going to find this video and see what she said in totality. But the fact that she left her situation of 12 years and she said her husband didn't do anything wrong. He might not have done anything wrong. That's what you say to yourself when you're first leaving the situation. Believe me, I've been that way. And then my first husband left me. And I said he didn't do anything wrong. I kept telling everybody like, oh, it was a mutual thing. But I was covering because I was being humble. And it took me a long time to figure it out. It took 2 of us, and I was taking accountability for what I did. Not also what he did. I was taking accountability for me. And the whole time I'm apologizing, giving him letters, but he never took accountability about how he treated me. You feel what I'm saying? So that's a whole nother realm. That's a whole nother realm. I'm talking about we need to get over the word selfish. For the people who people have told you, people in in the audience who you've heard this word, if you say you break up with somebody, you be like, I just need to get myself together. Or you leave your family and you say, I need to find myself to be, I'm not happy with oneself. So I need to let you go so I can be a better human being. I'm not saying everybody's going to think differently, but it's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with you trying to find yourself. The thing is, I'm sure she told her husband this, right? She said, look, right now I am going through a mental space where I don't feel who I am as a person. So I'm going to have to let you go for a minute and deal with my issues that I have within myself. And if that's being selfish, then so be it. You're going to have to be okay with people calling you selfish. I remember one time when I was moving on with my recent boyfriend, my ex-boyfriend now. But I remember me and my ex-friend. She's not my ex-friend. She's my friend. She's going to always be my friend in my heart. She's just my past. And she kept saying I was selfish. And I noticed the whole time when we was in our relationship, and I was in a best friend relationship with her over 20 years. She done said this about 25 times to me. Most of the time, if I got married or I found a significant other, she would always say I was being selfish, like I was letting her go. Like, that's what it was. And in my channel, I like to deep dive into social relationships, social norms, rap beefs, just society in general, internet, anything that's going on socially that we need to talk about. I want to be one of them people. So, but I think we need to get our head around words that trigger you. And those two words, being a hoe and being selfish, I had to get over that. Because when people say that to you, it's not to bring you better as a person. 9 out of 10 is there because you're not doing something they want you to do. So who really being selfish? Are you thinking about my well-being? Or you're thinking about yourself and what I'm taking away from you for yourself. So who is the ones being selfish? You or me? Because the person that, excuse me, I'm sorry I'm saying wrong. But the person who's telling you you're selfish and you're taking something away that they want because you're doing what's best for you and your well-being, is you being selfish, or are they being selfish and they only think about themselves because what you're doing for them is helping them? So who wants to be in the selfish person? And we need to, I think we put a ugly ugly spin on the word selfish, because it helps the person who's telling you you're selfish to get what they want. You know what I'm saying? So you can't clean my house and keep my kids together while I go out here and renovate the streets. So you're being selfish. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a reason for that. It's not like you're doing this because you really want to see this person at peace. You're trying to get what your advantage is out because you're telling somebody you're selfish. You being a hoe. Because I want to be at peace and single and get my mind together and not have a man dictating my life for me right now. And when people look at you, it's not because they want you to be happy. They're not happy, so they want you to be unhappy with them. Most people who are in relationships, for half of them, they're in it just because. They're not in it because they're truly happy in the relationship. They're happy because they gotta pay both rents. They need help financially. They are, most of the time they're settling. They're not truly happy. They don't even know you have people who significantly have to be in a relationship constantly. They ain't never been without a person. And they are sitting there being what they partner want them to be instead of who they truly are, because they don't even know themselves. They constantly have to be in a relationship with someone to make up who they are as a person. Then you're not a person. That's a whole different tangent. You know what I'm saying? But I think we need to get out of our way when it comes to people bringing words to you to define who you are. You're selfish. You're a hoe. You're unkind. You're not a kind person. No, baby, I'm just not going to take what you're giving me. I give everybody now. I heard a nurse. I have certain gifts, but I heard a nurse say she's not a nice person. No, I'm not a nice person. I'm nice. I'm sweet. I'm kind, but I'm not a fool. I'm not somebody who you could just come over here and walk all over me. I'm gonna tell you how I feel, and if you don't like that, you don't supposed to be in my energy anyway. I know how to. Now I used to have energy vampires sucking the life out of me. I'm being sweet and kind to everybody else, and I'm hurting myself in the process. So now I can't even look myself in the mirror when I look at myself, because I'm constantly taking whatever shit people bring to my atmosphere. No, I don't do that no more. I'm not doing that no more. I refuse to do that. Because people want you to be unhappy with them. They don't want you to be at peace with yourself. They want you to be unpeaceful with them. They want whatever dramatization they bring to their life, they want to bring that dramatization to you. And what I'm saying is, sometimes you have to let people go to bring peace to yourself and your psyche again. That being said, I want to talk about the word selfish. I even wrote down, selfish means acting or caring only about yourself and your own advantage, pleasure, or welfare, without any regard for the needs, feelings, or rights of others. Okay? I believe in half of this. Because selfish means acting or caring only about yourself. Okay, so what's wrong with that? No, for real. What is wrong with that? As long as you're not hurting someone in the process. Because that's why we're going to go back to The Crash. That movie on Netflix. It's a documentary. The documentary is about this young woman. And she was in love with this young man. His name was Dominic. And they've been in a long, young relationship. I believe, I don't know, in their age range, I want to say 16 to 18. I think maybe the young girl was like, I think it might have been younger. They started real young. They was 2 years apart, so it wasn't no weird stuff. They were both appropriately the right age to date each other. The point is, they have been with each other probably every day. At the end, they start living together. And when you're that young, you don't know your ass from your head. Like, you don't know shit. And you shouldn't be living with somebody at that age, especially with an opposite sex, or with anyone that you're having a relationship with. Like, no, you shouldn't be living with each other. But that's just my tangent. That's just me. I don't believe you should be living with a young man at that age. You should get to know who you are as a person. When you, from the time you get 16, I might give yourself 25. You shouldn't, like, real talk, I would suggest that you stay single. Now that doesn't mean, like, if you fall in love, you fall in love, but to have a relationship like full blown, I'm living with this person, commingling with this person, hell to the no. No. You keep your spot. To learn to, because you got to learn how to self-regulate yourself. What I'm trying to say is, in the movie The Crash, they were so involved with each other and so toxic in their relationship at the end that she was regulating where he went, regulating where he was going. She would say all these, spouting all these, talking about if I can't have you, nobody can have you. And I think it was vice versa. I do believe